you know, you always have to prove that you have the right for this book and like.
It's true, it's true. And again, this is, to get back to piracy, it is there on the web. It's maybe Google Play as an app, which you can report much easier than on the web store, because if it's a, you know, it's a page on the internet, we cannot control the internet, we don't own the internet, you know. But if it's an app that's at Google Play, this is our ecosystem and we can take a look at
It should be easier.
It is easier. So if you're seeing an app that gives away your ebooks for free, you can record that. You can even make a new call and we can take it off much easier.
So, I mean, we can set up something with the Publishers Association, like it would be a point where publishers would report to us.
Sure,
As
yeah, we can do it that way.
We would do the investigation, we know who's the right for what, so we would be more trusted, and we then report to you directly so we can increase the headache for this.
Sure, we can do it in that way. But again, the main answer to piracy is to give a very good alternative, right? So this is very important because right now there's simply not enough choice.
Yeah, that's a good point, because I believe, in my own personal opinion, there are people that will never pay for books. I mean, no matter if you say £1, they wouldn't even pay, they always feed on free stuff.
Let's put it that way. If you go, and again, this is on the record, but anyway, if you go to Amazon store in the US, you go to Amazon.com and you look for a book. Amazon is also selling print books, right? So very often Amazon has a price for print book, a price for hard copy, a price for soft cover, hardcover, and ebook, right? Three different prices. So sometimes the hardcover is very expensive because it's more expensive to produce. The soft cover is much cheaper because it's soft cover. And the ebooks is sometimes in between those two prices.
So it's more expensive.
So it's more expensive to buy an ebook on Kindle than buying a physical paper book delivered to your house for free.
And why is that?
Why is that? What do you think that is?
The service, the cost of the service that you provide. You're talking about
People are used more to ebooks.
Well, if you study economics, you know, there's a demand and there's a demand and supply, right? Demand and supply, right? So whenever demand is there, you can charge a higher price. So there's simply demand. People want to have that thing. People want to have an ebook versus a paper book. And look at those paper books. They're great, but I have to take them with me. I have to put notes in there. I have to remember the page. Here, once you're used to this, there's almost no way back. That's why people are, after many years, and again, we're not talking about a change from one day to another day. Amazon has been working on the US market for, I don't know, for decades. It's been working on that market for a very long time. And now people are, if you take a plane to the US, what do you see people doing? They're all reading ebooks. You will not find anyone reading a paper book anymore. Not all, not all. I'm not saying. I mean, we're never going to say that the paper books are disappearing at all.
Just more than the physical book.
Right.
And big companies said that it would be, the market share would be 50-50. It would be 50%, 50%.
Yeah, I'm definitely not saying that that books are going to disappear at all. We don't think that's going to happen either anytime soon. But at the same time, there's a very strong demand from users that are used to buying ebooks with good quality. And that's why someone like Amazon can charge a very high price for it, simply because the demand is there.
Okay, but speaking, there was a question at the back? Question? Yeah, I never noticed because I never think of buying ebook, but yeah, you should check.
It's the mindset that has to change.
I'm asking about the EPUB conversion. You will recommend that for the publisher a certain authorized converter application or such, or you will provide this for free?
It depends on the situation.
Here in Egypt.
It depends. There are certain publishers which we can recommend. But again, converting to EPUBs, everyone can do it. Even yourself, you can do it sometimes. Depends who you are, if you have a technical team.
For Arabic, it's a problem.
For some, some big publishers like Al-Sharouk, they convert themselves, for example.
You have Quran. This writing Quran, you should put signs for each letter. So it's not available for the normal EPUB converters.
As we were discussing, there are problems with the Arabic language. With the fonts, multiple fonts appear with this punctuation. We have a lot of punctuation in Arabic. We have a lot of, as he said, special characters. Quran is written with different apps.
Have you tested or authorized or tested any converter tool, or you will accept any EPUB format, regardless of the content?
It's definitely not automatically converted. It's not automatically. There's always some manual work that I should know. Absolutely.
Then it's
Always
responsibility of the publisher.
Mostly the publisher, and I completely understand the publishers saying, we don't want to spend any money on it now because it's just such a small market for us. But at some stage you need to invest. At some stage, today it's Google who's giving you a call. Tomorrow, hopefully, Amazon is calling you, Apple, Kobo, whoever wants to sell ebooks here. They all want to ask you to give them EPUBs. So at some stage you need to get your own EPUBs.
But would you invest in this? Would you invest in training publishers here?
Training? No, this is not our work necessarily to train, but we look for solutions together.
There you can do different ways of training. You can send videos, you can send free applications, stuff like that.
Yeah.
So,
yeah.
it will pave the way for you.
It's not a bad suggestion. We'll have a look. But again, we're not specialists in EPUB conversion ourselves. Especially Arabic. We're not doing it ourselves. We don't know how to do it.
Okay. Question on the right hand then?
Okay.
Sorry?
I just have a question about the best-selling. So how will you decide that this is a best-selling? Because we don't have a reliable best-selling list in our country. Each publisher sees that it's the best sold. So how will you decide and how will you know?
Yeah, it's a bit of an issue, to be honest. We're trying to figure that out, which books, but once we have sales data, we're going to be able to know which books are selling better.
So you will take sales data?
So maybe when we launch, we're going to not have any bestseller list. We're just going to merchandise some books based on suggestions from publishers.
Okay, I just have another question. I don't know, spoke about.
I think you said that.
I have the mic, that doesn't get through.
No?
I have the mic, but المايك هو جالس تسبيق كله. هو ده اللي عمل كده دلوقتي.
يعني بنقفله ولا بنعمل
يعني اقفله.
Put your phones on flight mode at least.
Okay. It's okay. Please ask your question.
Okay, just a question. Yes, if I have an Android device now, so I'm able to see books, for example, in the US, in English or in French or books in France. Is it possible, or it's just that you're waiting to launch the project in the new year?
Yeah. So no, if you open up Google Play here today, you will not see anything except apps. It's empty. So you can also not find any American or Spanish or English
So
books.
in each country, when you launch it, it's also the ability just to buy other books.
That's right. So once we launch it, we'll be able to buy local books and international books.
Or unless she has an American account, like based in America.
Well, yeah, unless you have an account.
Registered in the United States or Europe, you would access their store. But I noticed it's an empty app for now. But still, it works on Android and iOS as well.
To read.
To read, not to buy.
To buy, you can do it in the browser.
So if I have an iPhone, I would have to go buy it from the browser and then access it on the...
That's right.
Okay, so it's still sort of working on both.
Definitely it's working. I mean, we have a lot of users that have an Android phone and an iPad. And in that case, they can do it.
And they are seeing connected. And why is that there's also a problem with iOS?
Well, it's not a problem, but you need to understand that Google Play Books is part of Google Play. Google Play is an app store
You don't
on Android.
pay the 30% for Apple, that's right?
No. Google Play is an app store mostly on Android. On iOS, on iPhone, you have their own application, right? So you cannot have Google Play on iOS because it doesn't make any sense. You don't need any Android apps on an iOS device. So Google Play is not available there.
Okay.
You know.
Another question also about selling, if you have the e-books and there are like universities, libraries, stuff like that wants to buy the books, how would you allow them? Or, I mean, apart from being an individual like
Yeah. So right now, we're only selling to individuals.
Okay, so if the Goethe Institute wants to buy,
They can buy it as an individual.
so they will have to access, the book will be on their machine.
On their account,
And
yeah.
people will access
But
it.
you cannot buy like 20 books at the same time. We're doing some tests in the US. There is Android for education. There's a couple of things we're doing in that space, which will also include something like this. Something like an ability to buy straight away 100 books on Google Play and give it to all your students. But this is not yet available everywhere.
Okay. And about the non-readers in general, you don't work with them. I mean, they're not your target group. You don't.
People that don't read any books?
Either they don't read in general, or they don't read digital at all. To convert them from paper to digital.
To convert from paper to digital, the best way to do so is to give them an option to read good service. And
For free, I think. People with invention by paying money. You have to give something for free first.
you can find some free books. You can buy some free, not buy, but you can get some free books in Google Play Books. They're not going to be very interesting books, but you can still get, the classics. You can get the classics in EPUB format for free. But again, once people start using this and they see the value of reading EPUB in such a way, they're going to continue reading this in this way. And once you're in there, it's very, again, you can't go back.
It's addictive.
It's addictive. I mean, look at us, right? We've changed our behavior in many ways. The way we use email, the way we use, WhatsApp, or the way we use any new technology, we get used to that way of using. And this is exactly the same way things are going for ebooks as well. Or digital music. I mean, are people still using the CDs? Probably not anymore, right? So our behavior changed a lot as well. For music, for movies.
As we read internationally now in the news, in the publishing news, that the ebooks are falling down in Europe. It's very good in the United States, but it's falling down in Europe, and there are many reasons why. Maybe one of them mainly is prices, because publishers are very adamant on having, 25% less than the price for their ebooks, and it's not working, and they are happy with the money they able to pay.
That's right. There is a bit of a problem in some European countries where ebooks are simply too expensive. And too expensive is probably like 80 or 90% of the print book market. Now again, you can do that if people are already used to buying ebooks. But people, when they're not used to buying ebooks, we need to, to decrease the price for sure. Also, I don't know if you know, but in some European countries, there's a legal requirement of fixed
prices.
Right.
France.
So exactly. So there is a fixed price law for print books, but also for ebooks. price except the publisher. So the publishers usually put the prices very high, and users are like, what is this?
So what are the main problems you're facing now here in MENA region?
Frankly, the biggest problem is that when we have a publisher and we sign a contract and they set up their account, simply they don't have EPUBs, right? This is a bit of an issue. Sometimes, very often publishers don't have their metadata in the Onyx format. Does anyone uses Onyx? Probably not, right? So
trying to fix it.
it's okay. In the Western world, everyone is using Onyx. Everyone has Onyx. It's a kind of a format for metadata that everyone uses. But we have a workaround that you can just put it in a spreadsheet and send it to us as well with metadata. So yeah, it's all those technical issues mostly the issue. To make sure we get those bugs. Maybe you don't have them, maybe someone else has them for you. If you do not have them, okay, let's see what kind of format you have. Is it PDF? Is it Word? Is it InDesign? If you don't have either of those, it's going to be a bit complicated.
Okay, so mainly the problem is with the content, not with the signing, not with the...
I don't think there is any reason why you should not try this. Simply because, you can see ebooks are a very significant part of publishers in many parts of the world. In the Western world, in Asia, South America, ebooks are a very, very significant part. It's, in the US, it's close to 50% of their business, right? 50%, that's, we're not even 1% here. So there's a long way to go, and you need to start doing this, especially now that people are using smartphones, especially now that people are already buying digital content in terms of apps, especially now because we're going to launch right now. Okay, so there's a lot of reasons for you to consider selling ebooks today in this model. We're not talking about any other model. We're not talking about e-ink readers. We talked about e-ink. We didn't even talk about e-ink readers, right? That used to be big like 3 years ago, 4 years ago. But now we see that people are preferring to read on their phones, on their tablets. You don't need e-ink for that at all.
A general question. Any more questions? Yes, please.
How big is your market for viewers or readers?
What do you mean in terms of
For MENA region?
how many books?
No, users.
How many users?
Users will be using such service.
So we just saw the percentage of 83% market share of smartphone. So I invite you to look at the number of smartphone users in your country and take 83% from that. That's going to be the number of Android users in your country. And this is the very potential users that you can target with Google Play Books.
You will target the 80%.
Sorry?
You will target the 80%?
Absolutely. Everyone who has an Android device, and that's actually everyone here in the room, you're going to be able to buy an ebook with 2 clicks. You don't even have to go to a computer. You can just do it from your pocket.
Okay. Another question?
What question did you do? Hebrew or not yet?
Hebrew content?
Yeah.
So, not yet, but we're also working on that as well.
Could be the same problem.
Same problems as RTL, right? So absolutely, yeah.
So you didn't do it yet?
So we didn't do it yet, no.
Any more questions? Okay. One last question about generally the ebooks. How do you see the going, as they say, ebooks changing the publishing industry for us, or changing the whole reading culture? And as you said, for instance, it's always said that Steve Jobs changed the music industry by the iTunes store and changing the format of just buying a song for $1 and stuff like that. Do you see that we